Hi, it's Allison, your Best Years Group Health Coach, and welcome to your BYG Gut Health Introduction webinar. My intention for this presentation is to give you the how and why we have developed the BYG Gut Health Strategy. I will take you on a journey beyond our modern diet trends. This will require a mindset shift, but by the end of the presentation, you will have the understanding to begin making shifts toward a balanced diet. My intention is to awaken your taste buds to a fresh, new perspective on what it means to eat well for you. Make sure that you've taken the gut health assessment and have learned a bit about your digestive tendencies before you take a listen. First, I'd like to focus on regaining some dietary wisdom that I feel like we've lost in the modern information age. We can learn about any and everything our hearts desire, yet how do we know what's right for us? I'm sure we can all relate to falling victim to following a diet that might have worked for someone else. A family member or a friend might swear by paleo. So we start something new based on what is deemed healthy for the moment, and you feel great for a couple weeks. Yet because the starting point did not have you in the driver's seat, you throw in the towel. Here I'd like to make a comparison between our modern nutrition and a traditional way of eating. I love the science of nutrition, but our current food culture has driven us away from the simplicity of the more traditional diets. So let's take a look at a few key differences. First, our modern philosophy of how and what we choose to eat. Well, we base it on things like food preference. I like this, I don't like that. Or physical appearance. I want to look like that person I see on TV. Versus the traditional eat to live perspective. In modern day, we focus on calorie counting and getting the right mix of macronutrients like proteins, carbohydrates, and fats, versus how our body processes what we eat, or how it makes us feel. So how do we balance our diet? In modern nutrition, this means to eat the 5 food groups, or whatever the ever-evolving food pyramid deems is right for the day. And over the last 50 to 75 years, we haven't quite got it right yet, and I think it's caused a lot of confusion. Yet balance is absolutely the key to feeling satisfied. When you feel satisfied, you don't feel deprived. Yet if we are focused on weighing our foods, or which foods we shouldn't have, we'll never get connected to our foods and truly enjoy a variety of taste. The BYG food philosophy is built on this concept of balancing the 6 tastes. So I will be breaking down each of these tastes as we move through the webinar. May I present a new but old perspective, and you already have all the tools you need to begin. To taste your way to health. By now, hopefully, you've begun to learn which particular element your body tends to produce. If you were predominantly air, think of having too much air or wind in the digestive tract. Wind creates dryness, tends to be cold and unsettling. So by choosing foods that are warm and calming, we can balance our digestive tract. A fiery digestion tends to have a sharp or hot environment, so it makes sense that we would want to take in food and drink that cools the flame. Predominantly earth. If so, the digestive environment tends to feel heavy and can have a moist or stagnant quality. So we want to use foods and drink that put a spark in that sluggish digestive environment. Now here's the fun part. Let's engage our taste buds so that we can begin to balance our diet. The 6 tastes hit the tongue at a specific area, and from there, begin to engage your digestive system in a specific way. So according to your digestive tendencies, this can guide you to choose foods that have a positive effect on your body. One fun and enlightening way to practice hitting these taste areas is to do the mindful eating meditation that we have provided in the BYG library. So let's bring to life each of these tastes. Let's start with the most popular taste in the West, sweet. Sweet lands at the top and center of the tongue, and really our cravings, right? But let's go deeper. As we learn about why we eat, it's important to understand it gives us not only nourishment, but also has an emotional component. The sweet taste has a cooling effect, and that's why we crave sweet fruits and ice cream in the summertime. And it therefore can balance a person who has a lot of fire, but can aggravate an earthy digestion because it causes a little bit of mucus. It's easy to feel the emotional effects from sweet, right? It can add to our life with feelings of love and compassion and joy. But in excess, we can become attached to it. So that we can enjoy bringing the sweet taste into our lives, you can see here, every category of our foods, for the most part, has something sweet in it. So the obvious stuff like fruits and sweet veggies like carrots and beets and potatoes, grains, legumes, things like nuts and seeds, dairy and eggs, and even meat can bring us sweet taste. Moving from the front and center out to the sides, the sour flavor emerges. Sour is great for balancing the air digestion, but it can aggravate fire and earth folks. The temperature is heating, and it's associated with the positive emotions of appreciation and understanding. Yet in excess, criticism and hyperactivity are possible. When I think of sour foods, I think of the things that make us pucker, like citrus, vinegars, or tomatoes, for an example. Breads are traditionally sour, yet we know them in our modern food industry as sweet because we skip the fermentation step and we just refine the flour and add sugar. So next time you're shopping for breads, try sourdough for a true sour bread flavor. Let's move all the way back and to the sides to uncover salty, the other, quote, enemy food of our modern cuisine. So from this new perspective, let's expand our knowledge on salt. So it balances the air quality, yet aggravates fire and earth. The temperature is heating. And the positive emotions associated here are courage and confidence. Yet in excess, addiction or irritability are possible. Generally speaking, if we focus on the naturally salty foods, this can both add to our enjoyment and to our health, instead of us worrying so much about it and demonizing it. One of my favorite ways to tame a salt craving is to eat celery. It is one of the most concentrated organic form of sodium that we can get. Also, try some different forms of salt like sea salt or tamari, Bragg's liquid aminos. These are all really rich in salt, but complex and unrefined. Next is pungent, a powerful taste that hits you in the front and center of the tongue, packing a powerful punch. This is the hottest of all the taste. So what it can do is benefit the earth quality by breaking up some of that stagnation. Yet it certainly aggravates fire, and as well air. Pungent flavors can excite and energize, but with excess can create irritability. For the earth folks, increasing this spicy or pungent taste can be a little tricky if you're not used to spicy flavors. So if you can see here, you can start with things that aren't so spicy. Things like raw spinach, radishes, and ginger. Bitter lands at the center and along the sides of the tongue. It is the most cooling of all the taste and therefore nourishes too much fire. but can aggravate too much air. The associated positive emotion here brings clarity and self-awareness, yet with excess, cynicism or boredom. While in general, we Westerners haven't gotten our taste buds used to bitter, at least we're getting there. Some of the popularizing of leafy greens like kale and collards and creative ways to cook these things have really increased our taste for bitter over the last decade or so in our food culture. And of course, we always love coffee and dark chocolate, right? One way to slowly increase the bitter taste is to add some of these spices to the foods that you already like cumin or dill or turmeric. And finally, we have our astringent taste. This lies at the very back center of the tongue. And it's probably our least known flavor, but I guarantee you have some foods in your diet that are astringent. It balances fire and earth qualities, but aggravates air. It is the mildest of the cooling taste and is associated with a grounded feeling, but in excess can create some anxiety and nervousness. The effect I associate with astringent is drying. So think of the foods that feel like they take the saliva out of your mouth. For instance, beans. Also, astringent qualities can be rough or fibrous, so most raw fruits and vegetables are astringent. All right, so we have journeyed our way through all the taste. And don't worry, you don't have to memorize all of these food lists. I will have them printable in our BYG library. But to put this all together, we've done the work for you. So when you print out your BYG food list according to your digestive tendencies, you will have a curated guide that fits your particular digestive constitution. Keep in mind, you want to hit all of the 6 tastes, but in order to make your way to a balanced digestive system, perhaps focus on the taste that can balance your particular environment. And until we connect again, take a deep breath and keep living big.